Hey, Crystal Maiden here, and welcome to the next part of Wind Waker. Why does it have to take so long to climb up vines? It's not usually a problem, but right here it is because look how long you have to do it. Like, that's one of the things I'll commend Skyward Sword for, is that they make the vine climbing a lot faster because you can just sprint through it. Although, then they promptly butcher that by putting a stamina meter there. So you can only do it for a limited amount of time, and well, you're holding on to a vine, and you can't restore stamina. It just heats at that low. I think that's how it works. But yeah, it is possible to clip right through this, but it's not that big of a deal. I can't really do it. Or at least I've never tried. Of course he doesn't bring Medley with him because she would get hurt. So how does she know when he's done the boss? I guess she stops hearing the commotion. Because it's not like we ever see Link open the door himself after the boss is over. She just appears. Anyways, I like the music that plays for this boss fight. Like, I really do. Like, this is pretty amusing and memorable. You have to reflect the light at it for long enough, and then pick it up with the power bracelet, and throw it at... I'm really lucky that I actually managed to get it hit by the giant spiked pillars, because if it gets hit by the normal spikes, then for some reason that's not good enough, and he doesn't create a whole bunch of pose for you. Something I hate about this boss is that it's extremely scripted. You're only allowed to kill a maximum of, I think it's 5 pose each cycle, and 2 cycling it is theoretically possible, but it's never been done. I did not want to pick up that skull. It's hard to, like, it's pretty easy to accidentally throw him at the wrong angle, and then he hits the spikes instead of the spiked pillars, because you can't really see exactly what you're facing, because you see Link from behind, but you don't see what he's seeing. So it's hard to tell what exactly you're going to throw him at. If he throws fire at you, like, see, the pillar light disappeared, which is pretty annoying. He moves pretty fast towards you, so is that to worry about? But my least favorite thing about this boss is that it's just so scripted. Like, it's not on an actual time limit. It's based on, rather than rewarding skill, it's based entirely on how many of them you defeat. That's what determines the cycle ending. Like, it would have been great rewarding skill if you could just defeat as many of them as you wanted, and when the time limit ran out, it ran out. Why is he still alive? I mean, I thought that the giant Poe was made up of all the other Poes, so why didn't he die the instant that the final Poe is defeated? Like, is that skull head thing a completely different type of enemy? Is it a possessed mask? Anyways, you can't actually see, like, swimming animation in the room with the flower you cut down into the small river with the boomerang in the forest dungeon. After that, you can dive down from the ledge with the bomb flower and swim under the flower really quickly. Turn the camera so it goes underwater, and you can see Link kick his legs about. For the most part, you can't actually see Link's swimming animation because they made the water in this game not clear, so you can't see under it. Which fits the art style, but makes his swimming animation kind of pointless. It's a lot less lazy than just having Link animated as a head swimming around the water, though. Because that would look really freaky if we were able to see him, if he was in, like, clear water, and then we saw that he was just ahead. So, is the prayers of a ghost, like, not valid? Because she's clearly able to do it right here. Why are her prayers to the gods not valid just because she's a ghost? Why does it have to be Medley? Is Laruto the soul of Medley, and that's how she's able to come out of her? Do you need to be alive in order to have your music power up the Master Sword? Don't really see why music powers up Master Sword, or like, is Medley playing an enchanted harp and Macker playing an enchanted violin that's specifically charmed so that they power up the Master Sword? Or can anybody with any instrument just play that specific song, as long as they're the sage? Well, I guess that wouldn't be anybody, but... So, are they shipping Prince Komali and her? I always found it confusing because when I was a kid, I assumed that Komali was her little brother. I don't entirely know why I assume that, since she's an albino, except she has red hair, so that's confusing. It's just like, it's confusing because he looks so much younger than her, and then all of a sudden he doesn't. And then he suddenly makes a love interest. Oh, a lot of people thought that this was how they're supposed to get in, but actually you're supposed to go all the way above the waterfall, and that's how you're supposed to talk to Macker. Why do I need to talk to him first before I can use the Wind Waker against him to success? Like, that's just padding. And of course, Macker doesn't faint in this cutscene, even though Medley does. I guess it's because Macker is a guy, and so Medley has to be the one to faint. But Macker is shown as such a wimp. Why doesn't he faint too? And again, Fato looks so much like Link here. Is he his ancestor? That would have been interesting, but no. I don't even think Link is related to the Hero of Time. I mean, the Hero of Time went off to Termina, and no one knows if he came back, so he couldn't have possibly left any descendants behind in the Wind Waker timeline. It's confusing. Like, I'm sure Twilight Princess Link is descended from the Hero of Time, since the guy teaching him the sword skills calls him son. So maybe he's his father? But, like, how does he have a descendant in one timeline but not another? Like, did he just disappear from the existence of one timeline? I don't know. I don't know why they introduced that whole alternate timeline stupidity in the first place. I don't know why it couldn't just be one timeline. And, like, I guess the games couldn't have been in chronological order, but still. I don't know why they had to overcomplicate it that much. Like, it really says something that so many Zelda fans say they don't care about the timeline and hate people who do. I used to care about the timeline, and then they revealed the official one, and apparently I was wrong because I was thinking more logically than they were, I guess. I don't know. I guess it makes sense that I'm showing off me getting the rupees from under the sea, because, again, you need a lot of rupees to beat the game, so it is kind of a mandatory part. Although the game throws so much money at you that I don't even really think it's mandatory to grind for rupees, especially not if you're going through trouble of going to every island, like, by the time that you're able to. Which I don't see why you wouldn't, because going to every island is part of the best part of Wind Waker. Anyways, now we're going to one of the most annoying temples in the game. Oh, god damn it! He moves so slowly! Why does he have to be close to me? Like, why can't he just teleport over to me? I wasted my time! I can't actually see any strings on that cello. that leaf thing. So, how is he able to play music on it? Is it magic? I guess it is. But if he can't see strings, then how does he know exactly what to play? Like, how does he know what to do if he can't see the strings that he's rubbing the stick against? Like, that must have been pretty hard for him to learn. On the Japanese version of the game, in the Dragon Roost Island, the area just outside the first dungeon, the wind goes in whatever direction the wind is set to normally. In the English version, the wind direction alternates. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know why they changed that. This is one of the main things you'll be doing with Macker. It takes a pretty long time planting the trees. Mainly because Macker is so needlessly slow. Macker is just not fun at all. He's so slow that you'll want to fly with him to move faster. But you can't really do that successfully because when he flies, he mostly just moves up. He doesn't have much forward momentum, and it just makes it all the more irritating that it's on a time limit. Why is there a time limit? I mean, the Koraks presumably are able to fly across the entire Great Sea to get to the islands that they want. Why does Macker have a time limit on how long he can fly? And again, it's not like it's a 3D platformer, so he doesn't need to have a time limit there. It's not even a fun challenge because you can't overcome it. It's not like you can fly into clock things to increase the amount of time that you have. This is yet another temple where you'll constantly be using the command melody over and over again to control an unfun character who interrupts your gameplay. It's just like the Amigo system in Sonic 06. I just don't see how Macker is fun to play at all. You constantly have to slowly make him go up to you. And that often requires making him fly, but he doesn't fly forwards very far. He mostly just flies upwards, which isn't very helpful. And so he'll constantly run out of time and end up falling all the way back down. And then you have to make him fly all the way up again. Like, why can't you just have the call button teleport him to you rather than being useless because the terrible pathfinding AI? And, like, was this really necessary, the whole tree planting concept? You don't really need to... Well, you do need to plant these trees. Because, even though they're not the ones that open the door, Link needs to hookshot to them to get up to that door. You can skip all that with glitches, of course. But, like, I'm talking about the normal playthrough. So yeah, you're basically forced to do this because it opens the way forwards. Like, there's no way whatsoever to get out of this. Like, not even speedrunners can prevent this from happening. And then Macker died a horrible death and Link had to... Oh, there's still more parts after this. Fuck.